Good evening, everyone.
It's Friday, 7:30.
It's nearly Christmas. I'm Andy,
And I'm Debs.
and welcome to Codes of the Unknown.
Ooh, don't be afraid.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Has it done it?
Am I doing it? Are you doing it?
Merry Christmas!
Yo ho ho!
Hello.
Hello.
Did you like that?
No, missed it.
Oh. Evening, everyone.
Hello. Thank you all
Thanks
for joining us.
us.
Right. So
Right. Let's go.
we have guests
We
coming
have.
on, one after the other.
We have 4.
Yes. And we also have Christmas stories.
We do.
So I'm going to start first with my Christmas story.
Yes.
Once I found my picture that I did
Once
put in
you
order,
know
but I
what
can't.
she's doing.
Once I know what I'm doing, there we are. Right. Okie dokie. The Celtic Goddess is a hardcore Santa Claus, and not in a fun way. As a guardian of the beasts, she came up in the Alpine regions around the Middle Ages as a sort of traditions police. She made cultural taboos didn't get forgotten. Made sure cultural taboos didn't get forgotten or banned. I haven't even had a drink. In some descriptions, Perchta has two forms. She may appear as either a beautiful and white as snow, like her name, or as elderly and haggard. In many old descriptions, Perchta, Bertha in some traditions, had one large foot, sometimes called a goose foot or a swan foot. Jacob Grimm, author of Grimm's fairy tales, thought that the strange foot symbolised her as a higher being who could shapeshift to animal form. He noticed that Bertha with a strange foot exists in many languages. It's apparently a swan maiden's foot, which as a mark of her higher nature she cannot lay aside, and at the same time, the spinning woman's splay foot that worked the treadle. During the 12 days of Christmas, she would roam the frozen countryside and sneak into people's homes. If the children and servants of a house had behaved and worked hard all year, she might give them a small silver coin, hiding it in a shoe or a pail. But if they were on the naughty list, Perchta would slit their bellies open, remove all of their guts, and stuff the body with straw and pebbles. To get this treatment, you don't have to do much. Girls who hadn't spun all of their flax or wool that year would become Christmas straw dolls. Or even if someone ate something on their day of the feast other than the traditional foods of fish and gruel, she sounds a lovely lady to be visiting you at Christmas.
So you don't?
Yes. Don't want a visit from her. I'd rather have a visit from Santa with his sack.
I don't know. Depends what you're into, doesn't it, really?
I suppose so, yeah. If you like evil things.
Yeah. Sorry, Deb, you're a bit crackly.
Am I? I don't know why. It's probably because I'm on Chrome. Either that or it's this nose.
It's probably the nose.
It's annoying me because it's quite hot. I'll probably get electrocuted by the end of the show.
Well, that'll be some more festive fun for everyone to watch.
Oh, my antlers have got like Christmas lights. There we go.
I've got my little friend with me tonight.
Yeah.
Little Alfie.
Elf on the sofa.
If he starts moving, I'm off. I ain't hanging about. I'm straight over.
We're not going to tell you.
I'm straight over the back fence. I don't think I'm coming back.
Yeah. No, if he
I
starts
keep
moving,
looking
we're not telling you.
I keep looking at it on the camera. It's like, please don't move. Please don't move.
It'll go like that in a minute.
Yeah. Oh, tap me in the ear. Gone.
That'll be fun. Right, are you reading your my story
Yeah.
that you've nicked? But yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to do the Nutcracker.
Yes.
If you could find the picture, thank you.
There you go.
You beat me to it.
I know.
Right. So we've all heard the story. Some may have seen the ballet. Cute as the dance may be, the story is rather horrifying. It starts with a young girl named Marie. She receives a nutcracker for Christmas, which her brother breaks trying to crack a particularly large nut. He patches the doll up with some ribbon from her dress until her clockmaker godfather can properly fix it up. That night, while everyone's asleep, Marie sneaks back downstairs to be with the nutcracker. But as the clock strikes midnight, things go from mildly creepy doll obsession to full-blown horror movie. Rats pile into the house from seemingly nowhere, led by the seven-headed Mouse King. Marie finds herself magically shrunk to a mouse's size, but lucky for her, all the other dolls, many of them toy soldiers, spring to life and start battling the rats. They're led by none other than the Nutcracker. It doesn't go too well for the dolls until Marie takes off her slipper and chucks it at the Mouse King, distracting him long enough for the Nutcracker to kill him. Marie passes out and then she wakes up normal size and the room is a mess and there are 7 tiny crowns scattered around her. Years later, Marie professes her love to the Nutcracker and that night finds herself doll-sized again. This time it's permanent and she spends the rest of her days living with the Nutcracker.
Oh, how lovely.
I never knew that.
No, there you go. Right, shall we bring our first guest on?
Yes.
Okie dokie, here he is. King of Winter Hill, it's our Mick.
My name's Tom.
Good evening, Mick.
Good evening.
Good evening, Nick.
Hey, all right.
How's it going?
Not bad, not bad.
Good.
Yes. All set for Christmas?
Just about. There's nothing festive around me at all at the moment.
That's a no then.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, not really ready.
Yeah.
In fact, I finished work yesterday and I've got 3 weeks off.
Oh,
That's all right.
3 weeks of enjoyment now.
Well,
Getting up on them hills and having a look round.
Oh yeah.
Stuff
Christmas
people
Eve,
do.
you could stand at the top and see if you can see Santa going over with his sleigh.
Yeah, that's a good
There you
idea.
go.
Yeah, I'll do
Yeah.
that. Get
Good.
the infrared and watch him come over.
Yeah. See if he's got anything nice for me while you're at it.
You won't have.
No, I know. Worth a try, though, isn't it?
It is, but he won't have anything for you, Andy.
No. He
Not as
won't have
much as he's
anything
got
bad.
for me.
He just won't have anything.
So,
Oh.
Mick, tell us what's been going on then.
Well,
What
I'm going
do
to
you
tell
want
you, actually, because I haven't got any Christmas stories, because I'm a bit of a Grinch. I'm just going to tell you about an area where while we've been up there, and people have been getting in touch with me about all sorts of things up there. And apart from the beast and all that. And there is a stretch of road which stretches from a place called Ashley Bridge all the way up to Junction 3 on the N65. It's a stretch of road at that area where part of it's called Belmont Road and the other part is called Bolton Road. So along this road, I've got about 6 reports, starting with the first one. I'm going to start at the bottom of the road and work my way up. Starting with the first one at a place called, it's 2 fishing reservoirs, which are locals. I don't know if they call it this now, but they used to call it the Twinnies because they were right next to each other.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah, 2 similar fishing reservoirs. And this one's a fellow who was there with 4 of his friends, and they were fishing there, and all sat down. Some of them, no, some sat down. Sorry, some stood up. And next minute, a bright light just came over the top of them, and he said it was like a football pitch, being lit up. It appeared from nowhere. There was no sound. It just lit everything up. Whatever it was moved up into the air and shot off towards Winter Hill.
Wow.
He'd gone back. They gathered all the stuff and like disappeared from that area. He went back to where he works because he works nights, and some of his friends, he used to take fish back down to him, and like when he was doing the night fishing and that, and they actually said they were looking up, and one of them said he was looking up and he saw like what he thought was a UFO moving across the sky. Really? So he said he was there at the time when this happened and explained what had happened. So as we move on from the 20s, we go a little bit further up and we go through the village of Belmont. And as you get past Belmont, you get to a part of the road where one of the ley lines I've been working on runs through this part of the road. And this fellow is called Paul Green. He came forward, and this happened in the 70s, late 70s. And he said he come out of the side road, which is a Tockles Road, to go onto the A675 towards Bolton. He says as he was going down, he saw behind him a Commer camper van coming towards him. So he carried on going. He could hear it coming behind him. And he saw it coming behind him. He looked forward and then he looked back again because there was no noise and it had just completely disappeared. Now he thought, I wonder if it got into one of the ditches, thinking they just suddenly come off road. So he turned around and went back up having a look and he couldn't see it anywhere. So 1 minute it was there and the next minute it just disappeared. Mm-hmm. So that's like a ghost van,
a phantom vehicle.
Yeah. So moving a bit further up from where that had happened, we're coming to a place of an area called Roddlesworth Woods.
Yeah.
And along this point, where I'm going to talk about now, all these sightings, the next bit of sightings, what I'm going to tell you about, it all happened in this area, right within a quarter of a mile of each other within this particular spot. And one of them was a fella who I know, but he doesn't want to be named or anything. He said he was coming back from Blackpool with his wife, and they were coming again towards Bolton. They got to this point. They passed this farm, and they got to a point where he saw something moving across the road. And at first he didn't say anything. He just saw it. And out of shock, he just said to his wife, he said, "Did you see that then?" Because he thought he was tired. They'd been in Blackpool all day. He thought he was tired. He thought he was seeing things. He said, "Did you see that then?" And she said, "Yeah." She just saw something about the same size as a whale, but imagine it without that tail, moving with metallic sort of like swirl within it, moving across the road and went up to a place called Great Hill. Wow. So like she sort of like explained what she's seen, and he knew then straight away, like he weren't seeing things, it weren't overtiredness. And they just like went home. So just not far from that, a little bit further up, we come to the farm I mentioned where they were coming past. And they used to, I don't know if they do, but I think it's a boarding kennels for Dobermans. I'm not sure if it still is. But one woman was coming back from Orwich, and they'd come over Rivington and gone along this road, and they were heading towards the M65.
Yeah.
And she said, as she was driving along, she saw at the gate of this house a big black dog. And she were getting a bit worried because she thought, she'd end up hitting it, it was there on its own. So she moved a bit slowly, and all of a sudden it came out in front of the car. She thought she'd hit it, so she puts brakes on. They get out of the car. There's her and her husband. They both get out of the car. So we've got 2 witnesses here to this. And there's no sign of this dog. She said it scared, it terrified her. The way it looked as well, because she said it looked like a dog, but it didn't look normal like a dog. It was big. Yeah. It was, like it's bigger than a Rottweiler. It just come out in front of the road. She thought it had gone into the woods. She disappeared. Now, at this point, they drive off. She's been in touch with me. She's told me what had happened. And we were up there investigating.
Yeah.
And while we were looking in them woods, which aren't very far from the road, we bumped into a couple of wild campers. They were getting ready for night because we'd gone up, just before it was going dark.
Yeah.
So
sorry, Nick. Did you say it was near the Doberman kennels?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that house up on its own, isn't it? And you got the woods opposite. So if the house is on the left, the woods.
Yeah.
On the
That's right.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, you've got a little swingboard sign outside, haven't they?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So where that is, and then the woods outside there, it's what density is at that point. There is a track where you can walk down. We went in there. We went having a look round. As we walked into it, we saw these wild campers, and we just started talking to them. I just mentioned what we were doing in there, and asked them if they'd seen anything suspicious themselves, and they had actually said that while they'd been there a couple of times camping, but one particular night they were there, and all these lights over the top of them were moving along the top of the canopy, just going along.
All right.
And it weren't going at any speed. He was just going over the top and just moving it. And he said it just disappeared. I'm not sure what they did, whether they went. As far as I know, they still did a bit of camping there.
Yeah.
And at that particular spot as well, this is the last account on that road. What's been reported to me was somebody who was coming back from Kendal. There were 3 in a van.
Yeah.
Said his father-in-law, his brother-in-law, and himself. They were coming down from the M65 going towards Bolton again. Yeah. And they got to this at that exact spot. And they looked to the left and they could see all lights inside. And the lad's brother-in-law said, what's in there? Is there a pub in there or something? Because he thought, because it was that lit up, he thought there was a pub and there were, there were a bit of a party going on. Because he could see all these lights. He couldn't hear any noise, but they could see all the lights. But he said he actually saw little figures moving around within these lights. Shadows of figures moving around. He wanted to stop.
Sorry, but I don't know what's going on.
Few gremlins.
Deborah's had one too many cherries, I think. I've not pressed anything, I promise. Sorry, mate.
It's all right. Anyway, he said, he wanted to stop and get out and have a look. Brother-in-law, father-in-law, they didn't want to go out and have a look, so they just carried on going. That's that's when he got in touch with me to tell me what had happened up there. So this on that stretch of road there's quite a lot of things going on, right? Especially at that part near the Doberman cottage.
Because I used to drive that road a lot when I worked in Bolton. I used to work at the back of Warby's off Blackburn Road, down near Waters Meeting. Yeah, and on a Friday, I used to do. It was a Blackpool run, so my first job was right over the top end of Fleetwood near Cleveland's and that. So to avoid the traffic on the motorway in the morning, I'd go up Blackburn Road, cut onto there, and do the cut through all the way up to the Preston turn off. the opposite side of it, where the tickled trout is, but this side of it. And
Yeah.
up and down that every Friday for years. I never witnessed it. But that's how I know where you mean about the Doberman kennels.
Yeah.
So,
it's that road.
There's a lot of hills in that round there as well. And then you said like there's a lot of woods and it kind of drops down a little bit.
Yeah. I have had a reporting within them woods. Again, wild campers, they've been out in this all black shadow, like a black shadow stalking around them.
Oh, right.
So we do. I tend to get my trail cam in there every so often and put it at different points because it is a very vast area of woods.
Yeah, it is a big place because it goes all the way down, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And there's not much in between, just open land, woods, reservoirs, and like forestry area.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That.
So we're always vigilant when we're going past there. When we're driving around up there.
Yeah.
Because we use that road a lot ourselves. If we're going over to Blackburn area and going.
That's it. Well, it's a nice cut through because I used to use it a lot before they built the extension on is it 65?
Yeah.
And where it drops down before they built motorway extension, I used to cut, like I said, all the way through.
Yeah.
Rather than getting on the motorway. But I've used it since they built it. But it's just, I don't know, it is a good road to go down because it just misses so much traffic in so many junctions.
Oh, it does,
down to that point. But I've never really seen many other people going along there. The way I used to go, do you know when there's a brewery, isn't there? You come to a junction and you can go straight over, left or right. You come to a give way, and there's a brewery set back on the right-hand side. Do you know that bit?
No, I can't think of that bit. No, I'm unsure of that. Are we at the bottom of the road now?
I think that's nearer to, is it Alton Park?
Oh, Alton Towers.
Yeah, it's more down that end.
Yeah, because from there where the motorway is, it carries on towards Alton, doesn't it? And then you can get to Preston that way. Yeah,
it's like a little wiggly road that you can cut through. Yeah.
So how far is this road from Winter Hill then, Mick?
It's where Winter Hill is, it just runs down to the bottom of Winter Hill. Winter Hill's sort of thing, and you've got Rivington on this side, and then on the other side you have Belmont with this road running through it.
Yeah, you've got the Black Dog on the corner, haven't you?
The Black Dog,
yeah, the Black Dog pub, and it's just runs along there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so
it's an active area then.
It's strange that it's just this one road with all these things happening on it.
I know. It's strange, yeah.
There's not only my reports on there as well. There's other people who've got reports on there. There's Steve Mira with one of his reports is on there, and I believe Chris Turner's got one as well.
Yeah.
Right.
But just saying that, you're saying about that road, a lot of activity. The Black Dog pub is supposed to be haunted by a black dog. And there's been loads of people that have witnessed it.
Yeah.
Been in the Bolton Evening News, Manchester Evening News. People have been seeing it for years.
I have tried looking into that, and I've been in and asking them about where the name comes from, why it's called the Black Dog. I've had no one coming forward mention anything about it being haunted or anything like that.
Right.
But if you can find the articles in Evening News for us, and to have a look through them.
Yeah, because my brother he lives in Bolton. I'll ask him. He's normally pretty good at stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'll see if he can find anything. I'll send it over to you.
Yeah.
Teresa wants to know, has Winter Hill got any ancient history? I'm from Derbyshire, so I don't know the area.
Yeah, we've got a lot of burial mounds around there. In fact, that road, there's a an area called Slipper Law. A law is another word for a burial mound.
Yeah.
So that's it. And then further over we've got Round Loaf, and then we have the Hanging Stone, which is another ancient burial stone circle. So we've got burial mounds, stone circles. There's all sorts of ancient history up there.
Right.
I know these. Sorry, I was just going to say, I know these old Roman gardens up in Rivington, up near the tower.
No, they're just the Japanese gardens, what locals usually call the Chinese gardens. But yeah, that was done by Lloyd Leverhulme. He had that land there and made it into his gardens, and then he gave it to the people of Bolton.
Right, got it.
Yeah, but there are old roads up there as well.
Yeah,
so we did build on some of the old roads, but I don't know if they were Roman.
Don't know. I've always known them as like the Roman gardens or Oriental gardens. Everyone gives them a different name.
Yeah, a lot of people do have a different name for them.
Yeah,
but the posts and everything up there, they are the Japanese gardens. But
yeah,
I've always known them as the Chinese gardens.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is Japanese. So I get mixed up sometimes. I'll just say, Chinese gardens.
Roman gardens. Probably no one's ever even called them that.
We're actually
the garden.
We were up there on what day were we? Thursday night, was it? No, sorry, last Saturday night.
Yeah,
we were up there for a couple of hours, and someone who we met at Sherwood Forest, he came up from down London way, and he spent an evening in Bolton and came up on moors with us. He had a really good equipment on him. He had some not infrared binoculars,
thermal imaging.
Thermal imaging.
Yeah.
Thermal imaging, and they were absolutely brilliant. Everything that was, had body heat came up as black. So we could see birds in trees, we could see deer running across fields. They were brilliant. So I've got them.
Excellent.
Getting myself a pair of something a little bit cheaper, because the ones he had, they were, I think, £5,000. So I've got a cheaper version of the
Tino says, I found the Black Dog pub on maps. Is it Rivington Road?
That's right. That's the one.
Yeah.
There you go. Jude Sparkles Kitten saying, Mick, have you ever captured EVPs around Winter Hill?
I've not, but I've heard of other people doing. But I don't know much from other people, from people investigating that side. That's a voice.
EVP, electronic voice phenomenon. We should have done that when we were up there that night we went sky watching. We should have set some up.
Yeah, because we do have the ghost box where we've used over at Eschel, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that was good. That produced some good results.
I've got the EMF and Geiger counters and things like that, and we use them. But I never think to take that out with me. I don't know why. I got all this stuff, and half the time I forget.
Oh, funny me. I forget my torches and radios and everything. Most important things. Hold on a second. There's a knock.
Is there? Answer the door. See who it is.
One second, Mick. Oh.
It's a flyer. Put it in the recycling.
Yeah. That might be a Christmas card to someone.
It could be, I don't know.
We'll leave it on
until... I ain't got a clue.
Oh, there's a voice behind it.
Yeah. Stop dropping your flyers through our letterbox, you.
You're not on here to promote yourself. It doesn't work like that. Mick's allowed.
It won't come up.
Right. We've got... Oh, have you put that up yet? Nickname.
Yeah. Sorry, Mick.
Yeah, nickname is asking, what's the most compelling experience you've had at Winter Hill, all if applicable?
I think it's an experience with seeing that thing moving around, bobbing up and down at the bottom of the quarry where we could see the eye shine.
Yeah.
And I saw the body, and Lee was watching the thing bob up and down. Denise saw eye shine as well. I think,
right.
Yeah. And most of things has been like reported, and then there were the what we thought was a cat, a large cat, walking along at the wall where it like sort of like disappearing in and out of the wall, which we didn't know was a wall at the time until we went the day after, and we were looking with Lee's binoculars.
Yeah.
Me and Caroline saw something moving along, but couldn't work out what it were. But it was like sort of slinking along like a cat would do.
Yeah.
I've not really seen much else apart from a few. I mean, we've seen a light going over Winter Hill and just disappearing.
Yeah.
But it's mostly been reportings of people reporting things and coming forward, and me going interviewing, and then us all nipping up there and having really good look around where these things have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, looking for evidence.
That's it.
That's what you've got to keep doing, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Look, he's back again with his flyers.
Oh,
my recycling bill's going to be full at Christmas.
Someone's going to be flying. And it ain't going to be paper or encrypted.
I don't know if you can hear me, Andy, Deb, but I don't know what's going on here, but it's just not working at all.
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Well,
yeah, it says it's recording on my webcam, but it's not coming up.
That's strange.
I know, very strange, and I don't know how to get this screen off, to be honest.
Have you had a look at your camera settings?
Yeah, it says I'm on my camera.
Right. Well, you're clearly not.
I'm going to log out and log back in again, see what happens.
Okay.
All right.
A couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Just knock when you come back.
Yeah. Make some noise. Mate, trees is cut. Are there any Bigfoot sightings at Winter Hill? Now, I had that one, the early 2000s, but I didn't hang about to wait to see what it actually was. So I can't say 100% that I think it was a Bigfoot. It's just like a big... It was about 6.5 foot at the most, I guess, but it was probably about 4.5, 5 foot wide, and it had 2 big red eyes. And it was just like the head and shoulders, but because of the wall and the bushes, I didn't see the lower part of it because it was coming down that hill towards the house. But you had a couple of reports, Mick.
Not of Bigfoot on Winter Hill, but we have had a report from Billings Hill, which isn't far, over towards Blackburn.
Yeah.
Where Oliver, who I interviewed, he was walking in the woods around there, and he saw what must have been between 7 and 8 foot tall, ginger coloured Bigfoot. What had hidden behind a tree.
Yeah.
Was watching him. He sort of bumps into it. He thinks it was eaten.
Right.
Then it sort of like moved around in a funny way to get behind a tree and hide from him, and then it looked out at him at that time. So we've got Bigfoot reportings. For Winter Hill itself, only there's your sighting.
Yeah.
We can't really say if it were Bigfoot or
no,
because it was a bulk of a thing, wasn't it? What you saw?
Yeah, like I said, the description I can give, which I think is the best to in my head was like the shape of the honey monster. So it had the big, I know it might sound comical, but it had the big broad shoulders. It was like head straight, there's no neck. It's just head straight to the shoulders. And the shoulders are like, like the padded jackets.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like that. And it was just bulky, like massively bulky. Wasn't as tall as a lot of people have say, but it's just the width of it. It was just massive. But I couldn't. I was driving, and when I seen it, I thought, I'm not stopping. I just kept going, but I had to keep going down that road. And when I got to the house, I turned left towards Bolton, where you can turn right towards Blackburn and Coppell.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm doing a left because I was on my way back home anyway. Just been out for a drive one night because I was bored, and that was it. I just didn't go there for quite a while afterwards.
Well, when you get to where you saw that, you can't really pull over along that road after that anyway.
No, because you've got the reservoirs, haven't you, on the left?
Yeah.
And then these solid white lines, so you can't, there's no lay-by or anything until you get pretty much in Norwich.
Yeah.
So, but I wasn't planning on stopping anyway.
No.
No. It wasn't my time to stop and have a look, put it that way. So, but yeah, other than that, don't know.
Tino wants to know, are there any place names with devil in them in the general area?
No, there's not actually. No. It's mostly. I mean, you have Anglesark, which is an old Norse name for that area.
Yeah.
But devil, no, I don't think we have any. No, I don't think we do around that area. Not what I've come across yet, but there's still plenty of places that we're still looking into because it's such a big area. We can only look at one bit at a time, so that's what we're doing. We'll look at one bit at a time, unless there's a sighting of something somewhere, then we'll go to that spot, and that's when we usually find out the names and of what's around there as well.
Yeah. No, I don't know any names like the devil or anything similar to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Umbraman wants to know, do you guys consider Bigfoot and Woodworth to be the same being?
I do, yeah.
No.
I think it is the same being. Yeah, I do. The Woodworth, as we know, I mean, that's really the name over here in England, not what we you know, that's where that is termed in England. But I do believe it's a creature of the woods and the forest. And same with Bigfoot. I mean, it hides in wooded areas away from everyone, and same with the Woodworth. You know, it does the same things. You know, but I mean, then we can go back and think about the Green Man as well. You know, was that the Bigfoot sightings at the time? Yeah.
I tend to think of it more, Woodworth being more of a green man, sort of a hairy figure, but more of a green man than a Bigfoot.
Yeah. I think it's everyone's own interpretation. It's like Sasquatch. Sasquatch is Native American for Bigfoot, and
well, that's named because of the Native Americans give it the name of Sasquatch.
Yeah.
But and then there's the term Bigfoot came with the Gimli film, didn't it? And the casting from there.
Hattie. Nickname wants to know, is there any physical evidence at Winter Hill left behind? Well, you've had your sheep carcasses, haven't you?
We've had a lot of sheep carcasses, which have all gone now, and deer. We've seen a few deer carcasses as well, which is unusual because deer, you don't really see dead deer anywhere, do you?
No,
not as a rule.
No, roadkill.
Evidence as in footprints or anything like that. We've come across big footprints. We can't make anything of it.
No.
Because people could turn around and just say, well, it's a big dog, which in the mud up there, if say a fox is walking around and you see fox prints, because it's so soft the soil, when it imprints into it, it goes bigger anyway, it expands.
Yeah.
So you can't really say, it's a wolf or or it's a dog man. You just can't. I wouldn't put myself in the position to say, this is evidence and that's it. You've got to look further. You can't. You've got to think of other things.
Yeah, definitely.
And Teresa wants to know, has there been any Mothman sightings in the area? I don't think we've had many, apart from Cornwall, have we?
No.
Up here, I don't know. There's no Mothman sightings up here.
The only one that I've got, I couldn't even say it was Mothman, was the one when I said to you I was up at Angel's Ark. We'd been to the quarry, and the person that was with, who was walking back to the car, was, did you see that? It looked like a cow with wings. No, I didn't see it, so I can't comment. So, would that have been a Mothman?
There's something with wings. And like I was saying before, there was... I've heard Chris Turner talk about a pterodactyl type being over on that road on the A675. But I don't know much about that. I've heard him talk about it online, and I have spoken to him about it, but I don't know much else about that. Right. But again, not a Mothman. It's so the two winged beasts that have been seen.
Something that's flying, but find out what it is different, isn't it? Right, one second again, Mick. Third time lucky.
You up? Look, you're disrupting everything now, Bob. Hello, Colin.
Hello.
Good evening, all. Good
evening. Finally, you stop going out posting your flyers.
It was Google. As soon as I changed my search engine, everything's working.
That's what happened to me earlier. I got kicked off.
I really can't.
No. You're very quiet, Mr.
Yeah,
Claus.
you are quiet.
Am I?
Yes.
Well, no, we just thought we'd say it for no reason.
It could.
Mike's up.
It could be the beard.
You can't hear me at all. I'm really quiet.
No, we can hear you. You're quiet, but we can hear you.
That's weird. 1 minute. Let's have a look at audio. No, it's using my mic.
Right.
Oh, well.
Let's carry on then.
Carry on as if I were normal.
That's better. I don't know what you're doing there, but that's better.
I didn't do anything.
All right, it's gone a bit louder. Anyway, Tino wants to know if there are any phantom hitchhikers. They may not be what they seem, seriously. Sounds like there's not a road or the area that would have them.
I wouldn't be surprised if something like that's happened around there, but I've not had any reportings like that.
Yeah. If you've seen one, if you've seen a hitchhiker on there, Mick, would you stop?
I actually would do, just see whether it was disappearing back at car.
Yeah, the thing is, that road, it's a strange road, though, isn't it? It's not one that you get many people walking along.
No, you don't really get many people. You get a few runners.
Yeah.
And that.
Get away.
And you get like ramblers that cut through into the woods and down the paths and what have you.
It's mostly cutting in front, but you don't get people walking along that road at all, no.
No.
I've never seen an hitchhiker along there.
No.
So that's probably why I tried to stop and get him it back.
Yeah. See if he disappears or not.
Yeah.
Oh, Colin, your beard's fell off.
Yes, it's. I've just had a quick shave. Have I missed a bit?
The flash.
I'm sweating under that, I tell you now.
You want to be on my nose? Tell you. I keep having to go like that.
Right.
I'll wear it on my chin, that's better.
There you go.
What's that on Andy's head?
God knows.
That's me.
Too much grown.
Wow.
I'm saying nothing, Andy.
Best way. Right, Mick. You don't mind if we move over to Colin now? Now he's finally bothered to join us. After playing silly buggers for half an hour.
Well,
yeah.
That's Google for you, isn't it?
Wow.
Everything seemed to be working okay. It's weird, isn't it? I suppose.
Bad workman always blames his tools.
Yes. I've just realised I'm wearing my nose upside down.
Deborah. Oh dear.
Good evening, everybody. I'm glad to be here.
Good evening.
And Merry Christmas to everybody.
Yes.
Merry Christmas.
Everybody okay?
Yeah, getting there.
Getting there slowly.
I've got a pile of chocolates, so I'm happy.
I've got Caroline. She's cooking a fruitcake.
That sounds nice. Doesn't it?
I do like fruitcake.
Yeah, I do.
Smells nice as well. Keep getting a whiff of it.
I've talked to a few.
You're not allowed to eat on that,
I know.
Mate.
I speak to one every morning.
Yes, somebody rings me during the day as well.
Oh, do you both know gods?
Proper fruitcake. I can't see out now. This is doing me head in. Right, you can sit there.
There you go.
That's better. Right, it's come off my nose now because it's annoying me.
The Christmas Colin, what have you got for us?
Well, what I've got for you is, I know you asked me during the week, and I says no at first. Then you says if I didn't do it, you wouldn't speak to me. So I was that close to not doing it.
Down.
But then I thought, who do I ring? So I thought I better do it anyway. So anyway, I call this a fright before Christmas. I actually got this. Well, I said to you, didn't I? And I got this about 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
But when I actually got the paperwork out, I got it last year. So it was my mistake. It's a gentleman which I can't actually tell you where he lives, and I can't even give you his name. He works for the ministry. Fantastic armed forces, which I'm really thankful for protecting us over the years and keeping us safe and sound. So I don't want to put him into any jeopardy or what he does, basically for a living with the military.
Yeah.
But he lives. All I can tell you is just beyond Whitby. He lives on the moors. He says to me his closest neighbour. I'm sorry, I'm reading from notes here because I've had to.
Oh, you're all right.
I've had to. Well, I was telling you earlier. I had to play. I recorded him, and I thought I'd made an ad copy, and I hadn't. So it's my fault.
Right.
It's my mistake. So I had to listen to it last night and make notes. So if anything, this I get wrong because I have emailed him, and if he is watching this and he wants to correct me, please do. Obviously, he can't come on the chat because of his name. So anyway, I call this a fright before Christmas, and it happened on December 2015. It actually started on the 22nd of December, which was a Tuesday. He says, I was actually late home. I'm actually a civilian, but I actually work for the ministry.
Yeah.
I was actually late home that night. I got home about 6:30. I texted my wife just to tell her I was going to be a bit later than usual. Where we actually live is actually on the moors. Our closest neighbour is roughly nearly about a mile away. So we're basically on our own. When you look at my house and you go down the windy drive, to the right, there's trees. And to the back of my property, there's more trees. It's only a small woodland, but still it's nice and scenic. To my left, it's all open field. As I come down my drive that night at 6:30, it's a bit of an S-bend drive because a garage got added onto the house on the right-hand side as you look to the house from the front. As I turned to the right, my lights shone into the woods, and I swore I saw something stood near the trees. Immediately thought that it was poachers or somebody trying to break into the house, because we've had speaking to neighbours previously about a year ago, and they had their garage broken into which all the kids' toys and bicycles was taken.
Yeah.
So anyway, as I pulled up into the garage, I always carry a flashlight in my boot of my car. So I quickly jumped out of the car, grabbed the flashlight, walked over to the woods and started searching around, thinking I'd see somebody. There was nothing there. Could not see anything at all. Flashed it around for a bit. And I thought, did I imagine somebody stood near the tree? Anyway, I decided to go in and have tea. So anyway, the night, please excuse me. The night ended okay. We all went to bed and nothing to report that night. The second night, same again, nothing to report. I got home bang on time, 6 o'clock. Nothing happened outside the house whatsoever. When things started to happen was the third night. My wife went to bed around about 9 p.m. and I couldn't remember what I was watching on TV that night, but I started to doze off. I kept noticing the front floodlight keeping coming on and off. For a while, I was curious, so I got up and had a look. I walked over to the front window and pulled the curtain to one side. Nothing I could see, anything, nothing there. I waited for a few seconds to see if it would come back on, but nothing. I proceeded to go sit back down, and just as I sat back down, the floodlight came on again. So curiosity got the better of me again, so I stood back up, went across, pulled the curtain back. Wow, I jumped up. Wow, I'm awake now. Some type of shadow. I just saw some shadow go down. I started to panic. I really started to panic. I thought, burglars. This is what we're going to get. So anyway, I stood near the window for a bit to see if the light would come back on, but still nothing. I waited again for a while, then I noticed the backlight come on. So I ran, I tiptoed. He said, sounds a bit funny, but I tiptoed to the back kitchen window. We had blinds on the window in the kitchen, so I pulled it to one side, but there was nothing there. The light was on, but I couldn't see anything. Then I noticed the light come off, so I waited again, and the front light come back on. So I tiptoed again to the front. I have my study, which is a bedroom, which we turned into a study. As you look to the house from the front, it's on the left side. I tiptoed into my study, which has got blinds as well. I pulled the blinds slightly across. Looking again, could not see anything. The light was on. I thought, what is going on? I waited for a while and the floodlight went off. So I waited until I got brave enough and I went outside, which my body set off the floodlight. I looked around, could not see anything. I thought, how strange. I'm positive I saw a shadow. Anyway, as the night went on, I started to fall asleep again, and I finally, after half an hour, I went to bed. Sorry, I've lost this bit. Yeah. Anyway, finally, I went to bed. We're just going to have to bear with me because I have lost.
You're all right.
It's Christmas.
Yeah.
We'll never do a little dance while we're waiting.
Anyway, right. Sorry, I'll have to cut a bit out here because
You're fine. Don't worry about it.
Christmas Eve. No more. I thought, wow, no more work for a few days. Luckily, we were on a rota, and it was my year for having a few days off at Christmas. Anyway, Christmas Eve, I decided to relax and enjoy the festive season. I spent the day tidying up and finishing my decorations. We're having Christmas dinner actually on Christmas, and some friends are coming around, so we're just preparing everything ready for the final day. Looking forward to the day, really was. Anyway, finally the day was nearly over. We had tea that night, sat down around about 7ish, and when we used to get a takeaway at Christmas Eve when we used to live in a town. But now we're out in the sticks, nobody deliver, which is a bit of a shame. We was just talking about it. After about 2 hours, really boring TV, my wife said, "Good night, kissed me, and retired to bed. I said, I won't be long, darling. I'll be up soon. In the back of my mind, I really felt safe that night and merry, knowing that the security lights was on, car was locked up, all the doors was locked. I was looking forward to Christmas. Next sheet. I started watching the chat show. Some of it was really boring, but about after half an hour, I started to nod. Then I noticed outside of the corner of my eye the floodlight that had come on. I was a bit merry to show any concern, really. Because of the wildlife here, foxes, badgers, deer, etc., you just ignore it after a bit. But curiosity got me. It kept flicking on, flicking off, flicking on. And it was the back one. So I walked over to the kitchen window, pulled the blind to one side. Bang! Wow, something shocked me. Something was stood there. Oh my goodness, I said, a burglar. I started to panic. I started to shake. I nearly fell over. I ran to the switch into the living room and flicked the light off to put the room into darkness so they would not see me. I ran back to the window and pulled back the kitchen blind slightly to one side and peering outside. Bang again. My jaw just dropped to the floor. It was no man. All the horror movies I'd ever watched over the years had come to life. The floodlight went off, then it come back on again. Millions of things come flooding into my head. My head. Sorry, I've misread all this here.
Fine.
Should have had better notes, really. I'll start again over that. All the horror movies I've watched over the years have come back into my mind. Millions of things come flooding into my head. I thought at first, hold on, it's wake mates messing about. But no, it wasn't. I could see flesh and blood. Teeth, hair, everything. It just stood there. I didn't know what to do. It turned around and looked at me. I jumped back. I fell over. I actually peed my pants. I don't mind admitting this. It's not a manly thing to do, but I was so scared. The floodlight went out again. I just laid there. And it seemed for hours, but it was only maybe a minute or two. I got up and ran to the study, pulled the black blind back slowly because the floodlight came on at the front. It was stood there. Shit myself. I swear, it looked at me and grinned. I just froze. I just moved backwards in fear, and I just stood there for, it seems like seconds, but maybe minutes. I don't know. It must have stood there for a few minutes, then it moved off. I was still frozen with fear. Finally moved over to the chair, sat down. I had to hold back my tears. I was not sure what had happened. I must have sat there for maybe 30, 40 minutes or so thinking, what have I just seen? What has just gone on? What was it? I didn't know what to do, and I went to bed. I could not sleep that night. I was awake all night, listening to every creak and groan. I thought, do I ring the police? Who do I report this to? What was it? Christmas Day came. I was grumpy as hell. Lack of sleep, I guess. My wife knew there was something wrong with me, but she kept asking me and I kept saying nothing. I'll tell you later. After dinner and after the friends and family had been and we'd had merriment and a few drinks and we'd all gone, I sat my wife down and I told her everything that had happened that night. I was so scared still and I didn't know what to do. I even started to cry. She held me tightly. She says, let's work this out slowly. Anyway, we've talked to friends and family and other people, and as I know, and speaking to you, Colin, people do get ridiculed for this. And because of my position in the armed forces, I really do not want to mention this to my superiors. I will be really shunned. Anyway, down in the lockdown, I decided to look into what I had seen. Was it just a sheer prank, or is there something out there? Now I've watched everything and listened to different researchers, I realised there is something out there. I'm not sure, is it real or isn't it? But after talking to you, Colin, I feel assured. And there's a real heavy weight being lifted off my shoulders. I really thank you for this. I really don't know what I saw that night, but it was stood there, and it was on two legs, and it was like the horror movies say. It was a werewolf. I am sure of it now. Sorry, I'm studying there, but
No, you're all right.
That's scary.
Of it. I remember talking to the guy, and it must have gone well over an hour talking to him, and I recorded it. I'm going to have to do a proper hard copy, to be honest. Sorry about stuttering and...
No, I hate reading, so don't worry about it.
That's really scary, though.
I don't mind reading stuff like that. It's just, I think I've rushed it that much. I've missed notes and missed bits, and
it's fine.
That's my fault. I apologise, everybody, for that. That is really my fault. I said to Andy, I've got an hard copy, so don't worry about it. It's all in hand. It wasn't.
It wasn't. It still isn't. And still ain't.
We got the story.
Well, that's the only Christmas story I've ever had. So
did that happen in the UK?
That happened in the UK.
He said it was near Whitby, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's Whitby. He's on the mowers. Like he said, he has told me. I can tell you later on. I don't want to say on here.
Yeah.
He has told me where he lives. He's told me roughly what he does. He can't tell me much what he does. But he said they've been there 8 years. It wasn't until about 2 years, I think, if I remember correct. They didn't get any floodlights up. The property was quite run down when they bought it, apparently.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, you know yourself on the mowers. It's even Mick will say, it's.
Well, I've been across North York Moors on way to Whitby. It's bleak.
Yeah.
Proper bleak.
Oh, it is, yeah.
So nicknames asked, did the witness do a drawing of it?
No, I'd asked if he could do. He says he had a photo.
Yeah.
He thinks it's a print. He doesn't know what it is. But I'm still waiting for that. As you know, when you interview people and they tell you the story, sometimes you've got to contact them over and over again.
Yeah, everyone's busy though, aren't they? So
yeah, I know, but I mean, it did get reported September last year. So
yeah.
And I have emailed him a couple of times. He has promised me when he retires. Now, I don't know when it is because he never said, but he says he will do a face-to-face interview, which I think will be quite interesting, to be honest. So
yeah, definitely, yeah.
I have actually got him a book, and I've put a big question mark. So
yeah.
But yeah, that's the only Christmas story that I've really had.
No, that was good.
Yeah,
I had that.
Yeah. So, Deborah.
Oh, there's another knock.
Did you hear that then?
Oh, let me see who that is. It's Vanessa.
Hey.
Hi, Ness. Are you well?
I'm all right.
Good. Yeah, we're not bad.
Yeah,
ready for Christmas.
Right.
I had my nose on earlier, but it was making my nose sweat, so I've had to put it on top of my head. It's just it's too much.
It suits you.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that.
I've been looking for one of them all day. Couldn't find one.
B&M, love.
I went there. They didn't have any. I was looking for one for. I wanted to.
Deborah bought
one on the dog.
Right. Are we going to have a 2 minute break and then come back with Vanessa?
Yes, we are. So,
Jolly.
Mick, are you all going to stay and wait?
Do you
need to get off?
No, I'm not going anywhere.
Right. More than welcome to stay. Then we can all have a chat in a bit.
All right.
Right. So if you need a wee or anything, time to go.
2. Yeah, I need to go now.
And we're back.
Back in the room.
Oh.
So, Ness, have
Hi,
you got any
everyone.
Christmas stories?
Me?
Yes.
Could be me. What?
Yeah. Yes, you.
I ain't even had a drink yet.
You've been going like that all night. We're all sober.
You should see me
I
after
dunno.
Christmas spirits.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
That's so embarrassing. No.
That's answered my question then. This is what it's all about. Friends at Christmas.
No, actually, last year, it was actually Christmas Day, and we was waiting for guests to come round, and I was in the kitchen doing some food and that, and hubby was in the front room with the dogs, and the greyhound, he went over to the corner of the room, and he was staring at something that was standing there in the corner. No, I couldn't see anything there, but the dog then absolutely freaked out. It's like he's seen something horrific, somebody horrific, and then Colin come into me, he's going, oh my god, the dog. So I run out going, what's the matter? The dog shaking like a leaf. Now, our dog plays up when there's fireworks, bonfire night's mad.
Yeah.
And he trembles like crazy. It's the only time he does anything like that. But he was carrying on like it was firework night. He ran to his cage, just shaking, everything. So I've gone, what's going on? What's the matter with the dog? And then Colin told me. So I was like, oh my God, he's seen spirit or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, I go, because I had pots on the go in the kitchen. I went back in the kitchen, and then this cold blast come and whipped up around me. And I went to Colin, oh my God, there is something here. Because I was cooking in the kitchen had been really hot.
Yeah.
So there was no reason for this icy blast to come through. So because of what happened with the dog, because of what happened, what I felt, I actually had to do a cleansing on the house there and then. I thought this is not going to be a sign or a symbol of something really bad about to take place. Because you never know. I do take them as like clues and warnings. So,
omens.
Yeah, but when I said the Lord's Prayer and I did this cleansing, the house warmed up again.
Yeah.
Took a while for the dog to settle down though, so we had no idea what that was.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. But the dogs are really
So the dog
sensitive.
didn't react after that then?
It took him ages to settle down. He kept looking at that corner of the room. It took him ages to settle down because he was freaked by it.
Yeah.
It was like he was looking at human height, like he was looking up at somebody.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So got a window to the left and the right, and this is like a blank corner.
Yeah.
Got a corner looking up at somebody like standing there.
Scary.
Yeah. Yeah. Has anything happened? Has anything happened since then? Anything similar?
It wasn't a Christmas one, but this year I was I've come upstairs, so I was pottering, doing some bits, sorting household out.
Yeah.
I heard something, and then there was boom, boom. Somebody was walking up the stairs, really heavy-footed.
Oh.
I'm really quite good. Okay, I braved it. I went to the stairs to look because I thought Connor had come home. There was nobody coming up the stairs. There was no one physical to see, but this thing was boom, boom, boom. It was getting louder and louder. It was so heavy. It was like a full, a big bloke, a really heavy set bloke coming up the stairs towards me. I nearly had a heart attack. I started freaking out, and I ran room to room. I didn't know what to do with myself because I thought, it's going to get me. It's going to get me.
Yeah.
I didn't even have my mobile phone upstairs with me, so there was no way I was going to be able to call anyone for help. That really freaked me out.
Did you see anything? Or did you just hear it?
I didn't. There was nothing to see. I was literally stood at the top of the stairs looking down.
Yeah.
And I'm not normally scared at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things normally spook you at night, but this is like, it was unexpected and off the cuff, but that was so loud and so heavy, and it was, a good rhythm. Oh my God, it was relentless. It was coming. That's all I could think. It was going to get me. So, I shook like a leaf, I tell you. Once it come to a point where it just stopped and everything went quiet. Well, I ran downstairs after. I got my phone and I was phoning all my friends. I just had to tell someone I wanted some comfort. I wanted to be able to say, I thought someone was going to get me. This house has got, it's me. This feels like it's me. So if it comes out the blue when you least expect it, it's in your face. You don't have to be looking for anything.
Yeah.
And stuff happens. We've got stuff going missing all the time. There's often the odd argument, who's put this here and who's put that there,
Yeah.
My stepson was looking for something the other day, his headphones, and we were all looking for it. It turned out it appeared in the end, after an hour of hunting, somewhere he hadn't even put them. He hadn't even been.
Right.
The coats are by the front door. There's a ledge. They were on that ledge under the coats, but he hadn't put them there. I had no reason to put them there. And this is continuous.
Do you know the history of your house, Nest?
Not really, no.
Be interesting to find out.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Do you ever sense anything around you when you're at home?
Yeah. Seeing stuff.
Actually, sensing it around you, being touched by anything.
I was downstairs and I saw what looked like somebody jogging across my garden, but I've got 6-foot fence either side and there's nothing at the back. Beyond that fence is another garden for somebody else. This was between, what can I say, where my patio chairs are and my shed. So there's nothing in between that. And I saw a person in the reflection. I was facing my glass sliding doors and it was daylight, you know what I mean? And I saw this person just jog past behind me. It was like, I turned. It's obvious there's not going to be anyone there because there's nowhere for anyone to come or go.
It'd be a short jog.
I wasn't freaked. That was quite, I was like, I see that. That was pretty cool.
Did you get a lot of activity there, though, don't you?
Yeah, this is actually one of the worst rooms that I'm in now.
Is it?
When my daughter was staying in here, she freaked out a lot. And she said, Mum, there's someone in this house. So I've spent a night in here and I was unsettled myself. You feel like there's somebody right here in this zone.
Yeah.
It's like a dark, it's a male presence, a male essence, do you know what I mean? But really strong and overpowering, monitoring you. When my hubby slept in this room, my mum passed away this year, and it was a week after she passed. He'd crashed out in here, and he was just going off to deep sleep. Somebody disturbed him. Someone sat on this bed here. He turned to see if it was me.
Yeah.
There was no one there at all. So he freaked. My stepson's heard children up in this top hallway.
Yeah.
Steps and stuff. My daughter reckons that she's heard that before. The downstairs patio doors, they slide open and shut on their own. Stepson's, if he's been home alone, he's sometimes got a plank of wood to sit there with.
Yeah.
I think somebody's going to come in and get him.
Yeah. Start waiting.
Yep. Then there's the UFO activity over here.
Cryptids.
Yeah.
Reptilians.
There's what was it? Oh, I was in the garden this year, and my stepson said, keep it out when you're out here. I mean, what's that? And the other day you was out here, you was having a fag, and these he he reckons they're the same size as your mobile phone. So it's like this shape thing.
Yeah.
They're dropping out the sky and dropping behind you and just hovering above the ground.
That's weird.
Yeah. What are they?
I haven't seen them. He told me.
Right.
He believed they were UFO related. So I'm like, okay. Next time you see something like that, get it on camera, please.
Yeah. That's right.
If I'm not seeing it, I want the footage so I can check it out.
Yeah.
I've never heard of anything like that before.
No, I haven't either.
Right. The only
weird.
thing that I can relate to that is Tic Tac UFOs, but which are normally 40-foot wide, white, in America.
Yeah.
Military have seen those. But to have something that was kind of this shaped, black, and he said quite a few of them were dropping out the sky behind me. They were the size of my phone. And never, ever, I've not heard of anything like that before.
It'd be interesting to find out. It'd be interesting to find out what they are.
Yeah, it would be.
Best thing I could do one day, I'll see if he'll come on and he can tell you, because I'm telling you after the fact. It's from his mouth, and people can interrogate him, and maybe he could do a better description.
Yeah, just give us a shout and we'll sort something out for it. Get him on.
Really good, because he's really sensitive and he picks up on spirit, and these things really attract to him.
Right.
It's orbs and he gets other things.
Anyone
as well, there was a couple up the road here. They'd seen a big black cat at Fritton.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's some strangeness. Oh, that's right. Colin Hubby, he shared something to me as well. Somebody had driven to Fritton, which is where that black cat was seen.
Yeah.
This is about a 10 or 15 minute drive from me. So these woods are dense.
Right.
These people had pulled in their car and they saw what looked like, I can only say like tall whites. You should do a special at my house.
Yeah. I'll pile around to Vanessa's with your cameras and your EVPs.
It'd be interesting to stop there, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
What, Cole?
It'd be interesting to stop there for a night or two in the back garden.
Yeah.
Have a camp out.
Your shields. Your spirit shields.
Yeah.
Keep an eye behind me because
it's all going on behind you.
That's it.
We're waiting for Andy's elf to move.
Yeah.
It's elf on the shelf. Oh, don't.
I'm waiting for it to stay there. There ain't moving. That starts moving, I'm telling you, I'm gone.
No, I will see a real earlier. Yeah, so have I.
It jumps on your head.
Yeah.
Starts chewing your face.
Starts beating me up, making me cry.
Yeah.
Well,
are we having this Christmas?
Thanks anyway.
I'd pay good.
Are we having another Christmas story?
Nothing shiny.
It's gone again.
What's
right?
gone?
Shall I do? You've gone. Oh, there you are. You disappeared. You disappeared there.
Me?
Anyway, are we having another Christmas story?
Oh yes, but Nickname has just put a question up.
Oh yeah,
Can each of you give us your top one experience story and why?
My what? I mean when?
Your top your one top experience.
Because it did.
Yes.
Whoever.
We'll go from,
Tell us.
we'll go from top along.
Right, okay. I think mine is going to be the pterodactyl.
Yeah.
I knew you was going to say
Just
that.
because of what it was, where I was, and what I was doing. So basically, I stood in the back garden. I was doing a bit of sky watching because where I used to live, there's a lot of activity there. This was in Milton Keynes. And there's one night, I stood in the garden, it's a clear night. I was looking at the moon, and I think you could see Mars. I think it was Mars that was visible. So I'd been out looking at them. I turned around walking back to the house. I looked up, and it was just the row of houses. And from my top right, I just seen this. It wasn't as dark as the sky. It was more like a dark leathery brown, and it just glid or glided. Is it glided? Straight across. Didn't flap its wings, and just went straight across. It was probably about 100, 150 foot high. So I reckon the length of it must have been around 18 foot with about a 20, 22 foot wingspan, I guess. And it just went, I just watched it till it had gone out of sight. And I thought, I've just seen a dragon.
Yeah.
I went straight in. I was on YouTube. That was about 10 o'clock at night. I was on YouTube till 4 in the morning trying to find a picture or a video. Then eventually went to bed, got the next day. Next few days, look, I couldn't find anything. Nothing at all. So I kind of give up on it and just carry on normal life. And then probably about 6 months ago, someone put a picture up on one of the Facebook groups, and it's a CGI picture. It's not, obviously, it's not a photograph. And I'm like, oh my God, that is what I've seen. And I don't know if I've still got it on here. If I have, I'll put it on. I think
we took them off, didn't we?
So just let me have a quick look. No, I've took it off, but I'll find it and I'll put it on next time.
Cool.
The bit that got me the most was its tail. So you could see the head, and then the wings, like bat wings, but going down to a point. Then the body went in and slim. Then the tail was straight and it had like that diamond bit at the end, like what a lion has.
Yeah.
And it was that was the most fascinating part about it for me was its tail tip. Excuse me. And it just, if it had just been a straight tail and then nothing, I don't think I'd have been as enthusiastic about it. But it's just this bit, and I seen this picture, I'm like, oh my God, that's it. That's what I've seen. Yeah. And apparently there's been sightings of them all around the world. This was in Milton Keynes, in Buckinghamshire, in the United Kingdom, and it was roughly, so what, we're in 2021, so I'd say 2015, 2016 at the latest. And it was weird. No noise come from it. It didn't flap its wings. So at first I thought, was it a drone? But with no lights. It was weird. Everything about it didn't make sense, and it still doesn't now.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's my story.
Very good.
I say obviously mine's 1993. This is what got me into all this cryptid stuff, to be honest. Coming back from a night out in York with my husband's workmates, and he was drunk and asleep in the passenger seat. I was driving because I'd not been drinking. 7 miles from home, I started to feel a bit anxious. There was hardly any traffic on the road at all, which was one thing that stood out. I didn't understand that because the majority of the journey was York Road, and York to Leeds is a pretty busy road because it's a dual carriageway. Anyway, this terror started building up, and I got about 1.5 miles from home, and I started to drop down the hill into the valley. And as I got to the bottom, there's railway line, Leeds-Liverpool Canal, and the River Aire all run parallel to each other in the bottom of the dip. So you go over it's not a bridge, it's kind of like run under the road. And at the side of the road, I could see this thing stood there, and I knew immediately that if I looked at it, I was going to die. And it was a big 7 foot by 4 foot shaggy shape stood there. And I could see it in my peripheral vision, and I put my foot down and sped past it. And as I looked in the rearview mirror, it stepped off the curb and into the road. So by the time I got home, I was like shaking like a leaf. This is 1993. We didn't even have the internet then at home. Couldn't get the key in the door. My husband said, no, it'll have been somebody in fancy dress. It'll have been a tree. It'll have been whatever. And I said, not that, 2:45 in the morning, not at that time. Anyway, next day, my mum and dad both lived up in that area. They were divorced, but they both lived in the same area. And I was going to go see them both that day. And I thought, I'll just check when I go past. And as I went past, there's like a bus cut out, and then the path, and then there's a concrete fence that holds everything back, all the bushes and everything. There was nothing I could have mistaken that for. So that was my experience. But when I started thinking about writing a book, and I was doing a bit of research, put some adverts in the papers and stuff, and a lad came forward and said that he passed the end of my street on his way home from work. He did the twilight shift at a supermarket. And he got down the hill from me, which was like 400 metres down the hill was the church. And 2 of these creatures were crouched in the road, and he stopped, didn't know what to do. And they looked up at him eventually. They looked up at him and just silently got up and went behind the shops. So I went straight down there and went behind the shops, and there was nothing other than a row of garages and a wall. So there's only one way in and one way out. So where they went, no idea. But that worried me because I thought they were following me then.
Yeah.
That one I was going to interview you with, wasn't it? That
well, you were going to come over, weren't you, and have a look at the area and what have you. Yeah.
That's right.
So that was mine.
Yeah. Very interesting, is that story?
It is.
There's 2 really what I can think of. What I don't know. There's the growling experience, and then there's where we saw the creature, whatever it was, bobbing up and down at the quarry.
Yeah.
Which one do you want?
Growling. I want the growling.
Growling. Right.
Yeah.
Well,
The scariest, Mick.
Yeah.
So
We're both
there was a place called Edgerton Quarry, and we just bought some brand new torches. At the time, I thought were great, little things with a really high-powered beam on, and we were going to go up on a great hill around the moors up there and use them then, but me, I just want to get out and have a look around with these because I thought they were great. So we went to this quarry. We were walking along, and then in distance we got the that time of year when the foxes were the female foxes when they scream, which made us, so creepy around here. Hearing this what sounded like screaming in background. So we're walking along, and we came to this wooded area where all the crows, there's loads of crows nesting around there, and they were absolutely going mad. Flying. This is, it's in winter, and it's very dark. No lights around this area. They're flying around, making all this noise. You wouldn't expect that. So I thought it were the torches. So we ended up turning the torches off for a bit, but it was carrying on. And we just had this feeling that because we were going to walk through the woods to get to the car on the other side. And we just had this whole feeling, we need to keep away from here. So we walked around where there was a field on one side and then the woods on the other. And we sort of stick to the path, but more left of the path towards the field area. And we were walking down, and I shone the torch in, and then there was this really low growl. And I thought, well, it can't be foxes. We don't have anything in this country apart from dogs that will growl at us. Because at first I'm thinking it's a dog, this. But the feeling that we had at the same time, it sort of like really unnerved us. So we carried on walking. We walked a little bit faster down this path, moved this torch away and shone it in front of us. But we could hear something following us through the bushes and the trees in this wooded area. So as we were walking down, we could hear this going along. And then we'd stop, shine the torch around. The birds are still going mad at this point. And when we moved, it moved until we got further down, and we just sort of like got to the carpet quick. The day after, when we went up, we went looking around this area. I wanted to see if there were any markings around where this thing were walking.
Yeah.
And we came across a bird that had been laid down with its wings laid out and its head removed, and sticks placed all around it, crisscrossed in a pyramid shape.
Wow.
That sounds like
that was weird.
Do you think that was pagan, Mick? Or
sorry, Colin, say that again.
Do you think that was like some type of pagan type of ritual type of thing?
No, I'm pagan myself, and we don't do things like that.
Right. What do you think it is?
I mean, witchcraft, yeah. But no, I do know some witches who practice witchcraft, and I've never known them to do anything like that. Wow.
So what do you think it was then, Mick?
I'm unsure of what that could be, but it was splayed out. It was, I think, if we hadn't gone back in here, we hadn't been going through all the underbrush and having a look round, we wouldn't have come across it, because it was out of the way. It was hidden. There was no reason. I mean, or if I'd seen it, I would have thought, well, this bird's falling out of trees. It's, and branches are falling down, and there's old twigs everywhere. But it's the way it was splayed out, head removed as well. I mean, it's funny that there was no head there.
Yeah.
So no, unsure of what that could be at all.
I've had stories of this, Mick, same type of stuff, but I've never really looked into it, so I'm quite interested. Andy, you found all that weird stuff, didn't you, about a month ago?
Oh, on the graves.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still don't know what that was.
Well, from what I've seen with that, the ones you've taken pictures of, Andy.
Yeah.
It looks like symbols around it. It's
like sigils.
Sigils. They look like sigils. They look as though it's more of giving a thanks to the spirits of that place. Plus, it's in a cemetery as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
We do. There are pagans who go out there and who sort of worship their ancestors, who leave things like that behind as offerings.
Right. So see, the first time it happened, it was just on one grave. It's on a mound. And the time when I went on my own, there's like a big stone wall with like grave plates. I don't know what you call them. Like head plates that are in the wall, made out of stone. Yeah. And then these are on the website, these photos still, and these two next to each other. One's got black candle that's been melted in, a cigar and a bottle of rum. I thought it was whiskey, but it's rum. And on the other one, there's a bottle of wine, pink candles, and packet of menthol cigarettes. But then these symbols, I couldn't find anything what they was.
Well, sometimes people do. They make them themselves.
I was going to say, that was my next question. Do people make their own up?
Yeah, it'll be personal to them and what they're doing.
Right. Yeah.
I've come
across. You ever found out what this bird meant?
Sorry,
Mick, can you let me know?
What?
If you ever found out what this bird meant?
Oh yeah,
will you let me know?
I'll let you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Tino's put, where are the seagulls?
Sigils.
I can't say and I can't read. If you go on the website and go on the live stream, scroll to the bottom, the photos are there. It's it's the only video on there. Viewport Pagnell.
Yes.
It's under live stream investigations. It's the second one. The one above it's the one when us three went to Leeds. But yeah, there's four photos on there and a video. So if you want to have a look, it's just easy. If you look on there, then you can freeze frame it and have a look at them for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what you think.
But there were some seagulls. I could hear them.
Just adding that in to make himself sound better now.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, right, Nesta.
Right.
What's your? I've lost the question now. Andy took it off.
I've not done nothing.
I'll slap him. No, it's gone. Right.
Do it hard, Deb. Do it hard.
Oi.
That's it. I found it again. Wait a minute. There we go. Just to refresh your memory, can each of you give us your top one experience story and why?
I've got loads, but the one that stands out the most is when a UFO appeared above my house. I was doing a skywatch. I hadn't moved up to East Anglia very long, and I was telling a friend about UFO experiences and stuff that I'd had. So for a couple of months, she'd come to my house, and we'd go in the back garden and the private car park up at the back of the garden and skywatch. And I bought a new camera that had one of those fitted flashes on top, and I went, I wonder what'll happen if they go over and I'll flash them. So it was April 17th, 2001, and it was, I thought it was after 9 or 10, but you know, around that time. We found out what time it was later on. I don't think it tallied, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, starlight UFO-y thing goes over. I said to her, right, I'm going to try my flash. So I flashed it to see if it would do anything. And then it pulsed back at us and carried on going. So I got really excited. I was like, oh my God, we got a reaction. Oh my God, it works. You know what I mean? I was like,
yeah,
that's it. Then shortly after, another one was coming, but this time coming towards us. So I've gone, oh, he's told him that we're here with this. He sent one back, or he's done a U-turn to come back. So I flashed it again. I flashed up at this, and then it went like over the top of my house. So it looks like a silvery white star, big star, you know, bright star. So it goes over my house, and we're standing there just watching it, and it stopped. So I've gone, oh, as you do. And then one click, it didn't come down. It switched on, it appeared. This was 4 houses wide, this UFO. And it was like Carlos Diaz. He's the only one with the same UFO that I had come over my house. It's like a triangular glass UFO, and it has like curved edges on it.
Like a boomerang.
No, solid.
Right.
Like a solid, thick glass UFO, but it was blue and white, and it had veins of light through it, and it pulsed like it was going from the whole thing. It did look like there was a source of light bulbs to it or anything. It's like it created light through itself.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like it was breathing light. It was really weird.
Right. Yeah.
And I swear it was only like 100 foot above my house. I'm not 100% on heights, working heights out, but this was low.
Yeah.
I stood there staring at it. I've got a camera in my hand, and I didn't even bother taking a picture because I didn't even know it was going to do that. So I didn't take my eyes off it because I didn't know what it was going to do next. So me and my mate Shell, we're standing there. This thing's pulsing, not a sound. So I just went, wow, because it was beautiful. It was really beautiful. And she then said, wow. And then this thing clicked off back to a small light and went over to the North Sea. So I grabbed her by the scruff of her neck and shook her, and I went, did you see that? You know what I mean? And my adrenaline was through the roof.
Yeah.
And we're both having like mini heart attacks because it was like, shit, that just happened. There's no way on this earth that's not a human craft. We don't like materialize and dematerialize. We just don't do that. This thing did not come down. Boom, boom. Clicked on, clicked off. Job done.
Yeah.
So then she's gone like that. So I turned to see what she's looking at, and beside us there's another UFO, same height, 1, 2, 3 balls of light that looked like the rear end of a rocket, and it was
right,
again the same height over the houses that were next to us, to the side of us, and that was just drifting quietly away. So I've gone, oh my God, when we was looking at this one, where was that one?
yeah,
You know what I mean? So I ran indoors and I phoned my brother and tell him, but we were really freaked out. And I looked at the time; it was 1:15 in the morning.
wow,
It's just weird that it was late. You know, it was just when she used to come round, we'd go out about 8:30 and start sky watching. And we'd be in and out quite often for coffees and things.
yeah,
We didn't. We had this one sighting, and now it's 1:15 in the morning. My son
That's
freaked
weird.
out. Dropped us in through the keyway, said you're going out again, because we were really with our faces. This was real. This changed reality. This was a game changer. This is fact.
Yeah.
You know, I'd seen lights. I've had discs of lights. I'd had this, that, and the other. But this was an actual solid, in front of your eyes, right in front vision ship.
yeah.
That I will never, ever, ever forget it. Ever.
No, I can imagine.
I was ill for a week. So was my mate.
Yeah.
The reality of it made us sick, made us ill. I'm not joking, I slept in my kids', well, I didn't sleep, but I climbed in the kids' beds. I had to be with them. I didn't want to be on my own. I had every light on in the house, and that didn't even help me. I thought, they know where I live. They know I'm here. They know that I know. And I thought, they're coming next. They're going to come and get me. And that sounds funny when everybody's in comfort and relaxed and that. When your reality gets a shift like that, it's your whole internals go into absolute fear mode. I was in fear. I didn't go out once it got to dusk. I didn't leave the house. I was petrified, and this lasted a month. I wouldn't go out.
Oh, what?
Sure was the same, my mate. But we did have another one in May, but that kind of changed our views because it lit up as a cross above us. And then I had kind of like this knowing come over me, and it was like everything's connected. It kind of gave me that comfort of knowing that, you know, the symbol of the cross was that, you know, there was that link with them as well to us.
Yeah.
It gave me peace again over it all. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Really, you see something like that, there's no way you ever get over it.
Never forget that.
No, I can imagine.
Definitely not. What about you, Colin?
I think for over the years, to be honest, Deb, there's been that many, but I think if anything I had to pick out, it'd be the Wassam Woods, which was 2015, September 27th. The Arnold Schwarzenegger Dogman.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Oh,
I mean, finding that pole, finding that bedding area, then that thing following me down the hedge, and when I saw it at the end, it just, and is it Osborne effect where you get in a bubble, everything went quiet, no birds, no wildlife, nothing.
Yeah,
I think that was the most harrowing. It's not the most scariest I've ever been, but it's the most rememberable experience I think I've ever had.
The one that sticks with you.
Yeah, I mean, I've been scared more than that. I felt safe, but still scared. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest one for me, to be honest.
Yeah, it would be for me, I think.
Yeah.
Pretty scared at the moment.
Yeah, I've had a few scary ones. The pterodactyl wasn't scary, but I've had a lot, like Colin just said, a lot more scary ones. But it's just because of what it was and where it was. I think it's just more fascinating.
Yeah.
So, right, we're going to have another quick break.
There's a pussycat.
Hello, and then Bob's going to tell us about his mechanic antics and what he gets up to on an evening.
Oh dear, interesting.
Sounds interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You might have to go out on a call out yet. I'm not sure.
You think we're joking?
Yeah. You lend him your white van.
No, he's got his own. He's got a little red truck.
That's good.
Got his own little truck. Recovery truck.
Watch out for white vans.
Right. So a quick 2 minutes and then we'll be back.
Super.
Hello.
Back in the room.
Yeah. Right. We was supposed to have another guest on, but I
Yes.
don't actually know what's going on.
He was supposed to be here at 9, wasn't he? He
Yeah.
messaged me.
He was messaging before we went live. We can't say who it is yet. Sorry, I'm just checking. So,
Like a newsreader.
go on then. What's today's news?
I have got a story about a Christmas story.
Ooh.
The tree?
A what?
A tree?
No, it's not a tree.
Oh.
A
I'm
Christmas
not
story.
I'm not interested then. If it doesn't
Would you be
involve
interested?
a tree, I don't want
Would
to
you be
know.
interested if I told you that Bob's gone out on a call out to pick up a truck that's broken down?
Yeah. Has he
He
got
came
his
in-
Christmas? Has he got his
No.
Christmas dungarees on?
Yeah, not a lot of people know this story, but he came in after bonfire out covered in oil. So we were like joking, and then Andy said he's probably been out fixing cars and stuff, and then it just escalated from there. And Andy actually found a picture of a kit that you can buy with a little. It's like a felt kit with
You
a
sew it
little,
all together.
ginger cat, and he's like mechanic cat.
You get a little blue dungarees, a little toolbox, a spanner. Yeah, everything with it.
Just looked a bit naff.
Yeah.
Oh.
The long winter evenings must fly by with you.
Hey,
It goes out. Yeah, they do, yeah. He goes out for a couple of hours at a time, and it's like, what's he doing now? Is he messing with somebody's brakes?
Yeah. And that USB, that's got all his invoices on it for the last 12 months.
Yeah, my mystery USB that I got sent.
That's why we can't read it. It's in cat code.
I sent it to Andy and now it's disappeared again.
Yeah, so
Very strange.
So quickly, this story. Deborah received a USB, looked like it was child's writing on the envelope.
In a jiffy bag.
She's talking to me. She put it in the computer and that. Nothing had come up. Tried like different ways of reading it. Nothing.
Tried my old laptop.
Yeah, tried her old laptop. Nothing. I was sending her some wallpaper and screensaver pictures that I've got on my hard drive. There's about 350 of them. So I said to Deborah, I'll stick them on a USB and send them to you. As always, I never got round to doing it. But she thought I'd done it and got Olivia to write on the envelope to send it to Deborah. So you didn't question it or nothing, did you?
No, just thought it was from you.
Just presumed it was from me. And then obviously you tried it and couldn't get anything on it. And then you posted it out to me on Monday in the post office.
Yep.
So I'm sat at home all week, not been in work, waiting for this USB to turn up. Nothing.
What, this week? You posted it this week, Deb?
Gaz took it up to the post office. Did he say Saturday or did he say Monday?
Monday morning.
Yeah, very busy, so I'd give it.
Yeah, I know it's Christmas. Yeah.
It was Pie Monday that he took it.
Yes, Monday, yeah. Pie Monday, yeah. Don't even go there. We've had two of them tonight.
Sorry, quick question. Just before our guest does come on. Warren's asking, do any of you use laser pointers when sky watching? No. Now, I do. I use them when
torches.
I use them when we do normal investigations as well. Because it's easier when you're trying to explain to someone where something is. If you've got a laser pointer, you can get the exact spot of where you mean. Rather than going, well, that tree there, where that bit of wall's sticking out, I haven't got a clue what you're talking about. So, I do. Do you? Do any of you?
I've just bought one, actually, so I can use it. And when we were up Rivington the other night, we were using it. There was a lot of clouds, so it would just sit in the cloud.
Yeah. But it's a lot easier, though, isn't it?
Yeah, when you're pointing something out, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, it just saves time and effort.
So I used to use a 1,000,000 candle power torch, and that had a really good beam on it. So I used to be able to point exactly to it. Probably blinding them, but
yeah. But you didn't get it on there.
Yeah, probably caused some of them crashes. It's me.
Possibly,
Don't tell anyone.
Reverse engineering, it's my fault.
Yeah.
I'll have to get a laser pen, I think.
Yeah, definitely. What I'll do, the one I've got, Warren's just asked about brands. Yeah. It's a rechargeable one. It's a USB, but it's got an attachment on the front that has like a grid. Yeah. So you can have like a dotted grid formation as well.
Right.
So if anything crosses in front of it, you can pick up the shape of it. But I'll put the link on. I'll put the link in the description to this when I go on the computer after. But I can hear another noise, Deborah.
I can't see anybody.
Can you not?
No. Oops. What's going on?
1 second. There's
hang on, I can, a minute.
Deborah, I think it's someone for you.
There's somebody at the door. I'll go see who it is. Oh,
it's someone for you.
It's our Tim. Hello, Tim.
Hey.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Good evening.
Yes. Perfect.
You can. Oh, brilliant. Hello.
Oh, yeah.
All right. How are you doing?
Nice hat. Elf on the shelf.
Yeah. It's got ears as well, look.
Oh, yeah, I like them. Still not as good as my Rudolph.
Nowhere near as good as the nowhere near as good as reindeer antlers and a flashing
Looks like a siren on her head.
A flashing
I
red
know,
Reebok.
yeah.
Oh, I like it on
It's
the
a
head.
fi-
That's good.
It makes my nose sweat. I have to take it off.
Emergency services with it on your head.
Yeah.
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 Excellent.
Bob could have that. For when he's in
He
the
could have.
fog.
I doubt he'd probably savaged me before I managed to get it on his head.
So my question to everybody, this little elf says, are little elves just another kind of set of clothes in the history of what we now perhaps experience as greys or other kinds of alien ET contact? Are elves actually an older version of the same thing?
Quite possibly, yeah.
Mm.
Hadn't thought of that.
It's not, I didn't come up with the idea. I can't remember who did, but I've heard it a few times, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see how that makes sense.
Yeah.
I encountered one for real when I was 9. So
Excellent.
I said no.
Tell it what an elf.
It's not something I tell people because people go, "Oh no, you've lost the plot."
No, I've seen fairies. I believe you.
Excellent. I've got a friend who actually, Andy, you, Mr. Codes, you posted the professor who knows bits and pieces about fairies, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I could have a word with him. He might be interested in coming on if you want. He's done quite a lot of he's done quite a lot of stuff on fairies. John Hyatt.
Definitely.
John
That
Hyatt.
is one thing that I'm really interested in finding out more about.
I could have a chat with him. I don't know whether he'll be up for it. He's for lots of things. He's the lead singer in the Three Johns, and you may have heard if you dig into the sort of punk rock, post-punk history, the Three Johns are kind of, you know, in amongst it all.
Right. Oh, I'll have to have a look. I've not heard of him, but I might know once I see him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, John Hyatt. I'll have a chat with him. Anyway, hello everybody. It's great.
Hello.
Oh.
I've got a few things. Can I have a little go on the mic for a bit? I know I'm already on it.
Of course you can.
Of course you can. It's all yours.
So I thought I would talk a bit about I'll take him off for a minute. I thought I'd talk a bit about this. So Santa's red and white hat, right? So the red and white hat, you probably all know this, but I thought I'd put it in the mix anyway. Is less to do with Coca-Cola and more to do with plant-based hallucinogenic psychedelic and perhaps otherworldly experiences. Ooh. So in Siberia and also in northern Europe, hello ancient Ruby, and also in the northern hemisphere, the fly agaric mushroom, cue the fly agaric mushroom if you've got an image of it. Oh, Debs is just like, I know what she's trying to do now. She's going to bring up a fly agaric mushroom. So fly agaric fungi. That's not a happy bloke you meet on a Friday night in Hull. A fun guy. A fungi. It's a kind of more moldy. So fly agaric is your classic red and white toadstool.
Right.
And so in Siberia, I don't know which way that would be in terms of how you're looking at it, but it's kind of east. In Siberia and also in northern, say, Scandinavia and also near us, okay, you know, in the woods, you can find big red and white toadstools, red with white spots on them. And reindeer in Siberia like to eat the fly agaric mushrooms. Okay, so the shaman or shamanka, female or male. Hey, brilliant, excellent.
Hey.
That's the holy trinity of fly
I did
agaric.
it. I did it.
You did it.
did well.
Superb.
Well done, that woman.
Thanks, Debs. You've been
Welcome.
conjuring images all year like that. Fantastic. Okay, so the shaman, the special individual in the social group, who's been set aside as the wise one, who can soothsay, who can carry the stories forward from their ancestors, who can travel backwards and forwards in time and into other dimensions. The shaman, you might think, eats the fly agaric mushroom and then takes off into a trance in order to go to these different places, past, present, and future, and maybes, right? Actually, I discovered, not on my own, not out there, from reading Google, I discovered that what actually happens is the reindeer eat the fly agaric mushrooms and then they wee, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the social group collect the wee, the urine, and that's firstly way more powerful than if you just eat the fly agaric mushrooms. You eat the fly agaric mushroom, you basically you go on a trip for a few hours. But if you drink the wee, right, you don't have to drink very much. You drink a little bit, and it can last extremely long time. So basically, they can conserve this plant-based hallucinogenic drug that's been filtered through the reindeer, right? They can conserve it and they can stretch it out so that the shaman can have an induced trance for perhaps days on end, right?
Right.
Can I say just one thing? The mushroom as well is poisonous for us to eat. So that's why it's easier with drinking it from the reindeer. When it goes through the stomach of the reindeer, it takes out the poisons.
That's absolutely right, Mick. Yeah. I mean, it's very rare that it kills you if you eat the fly agaric mushroom. Yeah. A lot of people think that, it's going to take you out, but it'll make you it's not very good for you. It upsets you quite seriously. So absolutely correct. So it also means that you can drink the urine, right? Sorry for laughing.
Nice.
And actually it's healthier.
I wonder whose idea that was. Oh, let me have a drop of that urine. That looks lovely.
I know, it's incredible, isn't it?
How the hell do you capture it as well? Do you run behind them with the bag?
Yeah, I don't even want to think about
that. Put nappies on them.
Yeah.
So Santa. Yes, I know we've got Saint Nicholas and all of that. All of that. But Santa on the sleigh flying is that nice? Is the is the shaman or shaman traveling, kind of astral traveling or projection?
Yeah,
traveling. That's Santa flying in the sleigh, to put it simply, in a little condensed Friday night Christmas pack.
So that's really interesting.
I think it's quite good, actually.
Yeah,
I prefer that
to Coca-Cola Santa.
Yeah, I do as well.
Yeah. On the other side to that is the god Odin as well, who was a shamanic god who used to go into the other world. And he had an horse called Sleipnir, which had 8 legs. And these 8 legs represent the reindeer as well, pulling this there. And the Norse people at the time with Odin used to put boots full of air outside the door, so the horse, when landing, would eat the hay. And if anyone was good at that time of year, Odin used to leave a present behind.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Love
Interesting.
It. Love it. So we've got some images. There's a bit more digging here. So they're in Siberia and Mongolia. So reindeer migrate Mongolia and Siberia, and they move towards the east, right? So the reindeer in the north of Norway, the very far north, and in Finland. So the Sami people, who we used to call the Lap people, but it's highly derogatory if you call somebody from up there a Lap. It's not good. So the Sami people, so the reindeer are coming east there as well. They're traveling from, sorry, start again. They're traveling from the west, and they're traveling from the east. They're traveling from the east, and they're moving west, right? Okay. So they're moving towards the warmer climate.
Okay.
So in Mongolia and Siberia, the flight of the astral flight of the reindeer is regarded as a sacred act. It's a sacred thing. Very special. So there are these standing stones called the deer stones, which you may or may not know about, which are these megaliths that have these carvings of flying reindeer on them. And there are hundreds of these in Mongolia out on the steppe, on the kind of low grass level kind of prairie on the steppe. Hundreds of these stones, which we might see in a minute. I know that Deb, see when the circle comes, I mean, she's going to look for it, right? So, so we might see a picture of those. It's not a problem if we don't. And the stones also stand in, if you like, as humans. So some of them have got like a carved belt around the waist.
Right.
Which we also see in Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, which is the oldest megalithic site that was uncovered in the last part of the 20th century, which has really only become much more kind of popular around the world. Göbekli Tepe, you have these T-shaped stones, and some of them have got these belts as well as other carvings around them. So there's a sort of similarity there, very long way, very big distance between them, these stones in Mongolia and Göbekli Tepe. And there are animals that are depicted on the stones, but the dominant one is these flying reindeer, which ties into this idea of the shamanic ritual and them flying. So, and the deer stones are a kind of temple, but a temple that hasn't got a roof. It's a temple without walls. So, on the migratory path of the reindeer, going from the east to the west. Thank you. They pass these stones along the way.
Right.
No.
There you go. So.
Sorry, I can't find
it's all right. Don't worry. It's fine. I probably described it. So we'll put a link in at some point.
Do that.
You can.
Oh, Deborah. Deb,
do
a drawing for us.
A what?
A drawing. You draw a picture of one.
Oh, don't go back to that, Andy. We're never going to receive it anyway.
I'll leave that if you don't mind.
That was really interesting. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I never knew any of that.
Yeah, did I?
You'll be lucky, Tim.
He's a wealth of information, is our Tim.
Yeah.
Well, be careful, Tim. There's a reindeer. She won't stop eating those herbs and peeing.
Oh, that's an idea.
That again. So I need to turn you up for that. Say that again. I like that, but I didn't quite get it. So the mistletoe. Should I do a bit on the mistletoe?
Yeah. Do a bit on the mistletoe, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're under the mistletoe. Let's have a look. See, tell I'm a bent out of shape. Well, I don't know about bent, but I'm a slightly wonky professor because I have to have some notes, otherwise I can't do anything. Right? Okay. So so there are a number of legends around. We'll stick with this upper bit of the world. There are a number of legends, myths around the mistletoe.
Yeah.
So in Norse culture, the mother of the sun god, who was called Baldur, or is called Baldur. I don't know whether that's the right pronunciation.
Yeah, that's Baldur.
His mother. Hey, brilliant! There's the mistletoe. His mother, who's called Frigg. That's with 2 G's. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Frigg is the mother of the Norse god Baldur, and Baldur is beautiful, and he's the sun god. So he's like Apollo, right? He's the sun god. For Baldur, evergreen trees, so non-deciduous evergreen trees, are his special plant, right?
Yeah.
And so here's one. There you go.
Oh,
there you go. Christmas tree. So that's Christmas tree, right? Okay, so the plants and trees that remain green all year have a kind of significance, especially up where we live, right, and further north, because we bring them into the house in order to remind us that summer is going to happen. I promise. Even though you know the climate is all upside down now, but you know, in the good old days when I was young, the summer would happen at a particular time of the year, right?
Yeah, well, not all year round.
Yeah, it's either one thing or the other, or if you live in Manchester, it's grey and rainy. It's just grey and rainy most of the time. It
rains all the time.
It rains all the time. Really, it's unbelievable. Anyway, so the idea of bringing the tree into the house is this evergreen. It needs to be an evergreen tree. Is a reminder of the summer. Now, and of course, we're close to the 22nd of December, aren't we? We're very close. We're only 5 days off. We're 2 days off a full moon, I think, the cold moon, and then we're only 5 days off the winter solstice. Yippee! When all of the pre-Christian kinds of shenanigans kind of start to surface, so that's fun, including the idea of the tree. So the evergreen's really important in terms of the winter solstice. Now, going back to Baldur, who's this Norse sun god, he's so beautiful. Loki, who's the trickster, Loki is very jealous. And what Loki does is that I'm condensing it all here because it's probably a saga, right? I'm trying to make it into a little trailer. So Loki creates an arrow or a dart out of the mistletoe. At that point, the mistletoe hasn't got any white berries in the legend, right? So, and he fires the dart, or no, he doesn't fire the dart. He gets Baldur's brother, who's blind, called Hod. He gets Baldur's brother to fire the mistletoe. Baldur doesn't really know what he's firing it at, as far as I know. Anyway, it kills his brother Baldur. So Baldur dies. And Baldur's mother, Frigg, Hod's mother as well, Frigg, is so upset. She's obviously full of sorrow, crying, and her tears become the white berries of the mistletoe. So that's Norse. Then in Greek and Roman, in Greece, ancient Greece, you've got Aeneas, and Aeneas survives the Battle of Troy, and he travels. Which way does he go? He travels from the east towards the west. Interesting, and he is one of the founders of ancient Rome.
Sorry, I'm a bit behind there, but there's Loki in the mistletoe.
Oh, brilliant! Oh, there you go, the mistletoe.
That's awesome.
Fantastic.
Well, not for him, but
well, no,
not quite for him, no. But there you go. That's good.
Well, wasn't his best day.
No. Sorry, Tim. Go on.
No, it's all right. I'll rattle through it.
No, you're all right.
So, oh yeah, Aeneas. He survives the Battle of Troy, and he travels to Italy, which wasn't called Italy then, and he helps to found what becomes the Roman Empire. So he sets up a community there and stuff. Now, the myth goes that Aeneas wants to visit his father. Now, that sounds all very well and good, but unfortunately, his dad's passed away, so his dad's not alive anymore. So, he needs something special to help him to travel to the land of the dead to see his dad, and then to get back again, right? So Sybil says to him, I'm not quite sure why. I'll find out though. It says to him, you need to go into the forest and you need to collect or pick the mistletoe, the golden bough. She doesn't call it the mistletoe, the golden bough, right?
Right.
So since the myth has grown, many believe that the golden bough is the same as the mistletoe, and I'll get to that in a minute. So he's able, with the mistletoe, for some reason, special reason, he's able to travel and see his dad and come back again. Now, what's interesting about that is that Druids, which is why I've got my hood up, I've been waiting for a chance on the live stream to get my hood up. So the Druids, in Pliny, who's a Roman writer, an ancient Roman writer, who has quite a big imagination, so we have to take it all with a bit of a pinch of salt. But anyway, I'll run with it. He describes the Druids of say ancient Britain or indeed ancient northern France, Brittany, of going into Gaul, Asterix, all right, of going into the woods and collecting the mistletoe using a ritual. So it's part of their ceremony was to collect the mistletoe. And the ceremony or the ritual, well, it's a ritual, involved climbing the oak tree to cut, even though it's kind of it's not the fruit of an oak tree. It's I might be wrong, but I think it's kind of parasitical, so it sort of sits onto that. It's fantastic, that image there. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
It gathers itself in the branches of the tree, right? And so they climb up the tree, the Druids in their white robes, maybe, we're not quite sure, but this is how we're told, climb up, and with a golden sickle, they have a special sickle, they cut the mistletoe, and it falls, and it has to be caught in a cloak. It can't hit the ground, otherwise it won't have, it'll lose its magic properties, and its magic properties are then used in all sorts of different ways, kind of medicinal ways, or in all sorts of different kinds of ways. So that's why you might find, or you might not find, mistletoe in churches, right? Because, I mean, you might with some progressive vicars. There you go. It sounds like a band, doesn't it? The progressive vicars. But anyway, some progressive vicars, some prog priests and progressive might allow, revealing my old record collection, might allow mistletoe in because they're a bit progressive, right? But generally speaking, it's not found in churches because it's pagan. So
Yes.
it's pagan. Right. Now, and it's also all of these versions, in a sense, connect up with it being a fertility tradition. Certainly the Druid one is a fertility tradition. And, you know, the branch of the mistletoe is forked like that.
Yeah.
Right. So it kind of references, when you look at the two leaves forking, it can reference the female genitalia. And coupled with that, the white berries are, you know, they're absolutely full of this white sticky fluid. So it's it's very much say no more. I say,
yeah, very symbolic.
You know, I don't need to say anything more. You know, it's kind of like, dot to dot.
Kind of short him.
I know what it's leading to. Yeah. So there you go. That's it. Merry Christmas.
Well,
Very interesting.
Excellent. Yeah.
We
See, we
learned a
lose
lot
all this,
there.
don't we?
I don't know. I don't know whether I'm guessing it's okay. Yeah.
Enjoyed that.
very interesting.
Kept me on my toes with the images. Sorry, I was a bit behind.
It's all right. It's okay. We've got Loki. It's a fantastic Loki image. That it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked the oak. This one, the oak one.
Oh wow!
that.
I missed that one. I was too busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that! That's
Stood on a-
that's 19th century painting. That so it's very much kind of like guessing. It's kind of like wanting the past to be like this.
Yeah.
But it's fantastic, isn't it? Look at it.
It's a lovely image. There's quite a few of them actually when you type that in.
Yeah.
But I saw that and I thought that sort of captured it all, and standing on the thing to catch it all. And yes,
Yeah. Fantastic. So you've
are we doing it?
2.5 hours now, haven't you?
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
Wow.
We've
I
got,
was just going to say, have we got time for a Christmas story?
what are you going to say? A Christmas song then? I'm getting ready.
Andy, go on.
I'm neither singing nor drawing tonight, if you don't mind.
I'm going to get my ukulele out. No, it's not a euphemism.
That's not what I've heard.
Yeah, we've got time. We've got about another 10, 15 minutes.
Right. I shall do this one then. If I can find my little picture, seeing as I've got an array of pictures now. Where is he? There we go. Oh, that'll do, yeah. Right.
Nice.
Gold.
Ouch.
Around southern Europe, there's the legend of the... Right, I can never pronounce this. Caranconculus? Goblins. Which is, actually, I've got a picture of Krampus up there. I don't know why. I've lost my Krampus.
Just say goblins.
Goblins. Yeah, I had a Krampus.
I've got the Krampus one, if you want me to read it.
Oh, yeah, go on then, seeing as... Yeah.
But do you want me to do the Krampus one now?
Yeah, do the Krampus one now, seeing as I've got the picture up.
Right. So around southern Europe, there's a legend of the... Oh, great. I can't read it. Caracanopculus goblins.
Yeah, that's the one.
These little monsters live underground throughout the year and only come up during the 12 days of Christmas. Although some say they're only up for the first 10 days of Zimheri, most say that they're more annoying than harmful, pulling pranks, causing mischief, and demanding piggyback rides from humans. That's different. But in Turkey, it's a different story. They'll hang out on the streets at night and ask seemingly ordinary questions to passers-by. If you don't answer correctly, the goblin kills you. The correct answer is kara, Turkish for black. Another favourite hobby of Caracancolus is calling out to people while imitating the voices of their loved ones, luring them out into the cold in the hopes that they'll freeze to death.
That's not nice.
Ooh. They're a bit evil, aren't they, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want nice mushy. You don't want nice mushy Christmas stories all the time, do you?
Oh, no, but I'm just thinking, if they're calling you out, like mimicking voices and that, surely you're going to get a coat and gloves and all that on before you go out, so you're not going to freeze to death.
Yeah, there is that.
So if it was me, I'd just like hang out the window and, yeah, what do you want?
Yeah.
Like, you got 2 minutes and going to bed. Hurry up.
And that's what he looks like.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
How gorgeous is he?
Hello?
It's like the Hills, not the Hills Have Eyes. Wrong turn.
Yeah.
The horror film.
It reminds me of that thing out of Pan's Labyrinth.
Yes. Yes, it does, yeah.
Very good.
He's
Yeah,
got the eyes.
Yeah.
Is it that way? Uh-huh.
And it's
He's got the eyes in his hand.
It's got a bit of a Klingon kind of forehead.
Yeah, that's what that one reminds me of. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. I'll show you the one that I printed off. It's slightly different picture to that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, if you take that off the screen, Deb, and I'll
I
hold
can't
this up to the camera.
I can't find that picture that I had.
There.
Completely disappeared. Yeah. That is quite creepy.
That is horrible.
Mm.
Yeah, so, yeah, you wouldn't want that calling out and you running into it, would you?
Not at all.
No.
You wouldn't want to meet it after having drunk some Flyer Garrick reindeer urine.
You know, it'd probably look better than that if you had.
I was going to say, maybe.
It might be fucking lime green.
Yeah.
They like beer goggles, acid goggles.
I wonder if a shot of that would go nice in a snowball.
Let us know next week, Deb.
Yeah, let us know, Deb.
I will. Right, I've got a really quick Christmas werewolf story, and that's all the Christmas stories for this episode.
This year?
So, this year, yeah, right. Oh, this is another one I can't pronounce. Prikoliki are Romanian werewolves of ancient lore, and they love Christmas. They're like dogs who adore winter because they get to roll around in the snow. When they're not killing people, that is. But the Prikoliki werewolves are unique in that they don't reproduce by biting their victims. They're the hairy, reanimated corpses of evil men who've committed violent crimes and who just can't seem to get enough of that bloodletting. And if that's not bad enough, they won't stay dead. After the Prikoliki dies, it comes back again, this time as a vampire. Werewolf activity is said to increase during the Christmas season. Makes sense, seeing as werewolves are social animals. And they're my stories.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Love it.
You've got to have some gore on your Christmas.
Yay!
Oh, yeah. Can't all be fun and games.
It makes sense to have a bit of gore.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I like the fact that the werewolf and the vampire are really closely related in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know whether I like it, but I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting, yeah. Yes, all these little stories can be found on the internet.
At DeborahSingleton.littlestory.com.
Yeah. Stories.
Nori.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Well, it's been a fantastic show tonight.
Yeah.
Great.
I was going to say,
enjoyed
if you go on to Collins, he'll send you a flyer about his webcam.
Trying to post his shite through my door, my letterbox.
I bet that was him with the USB, telling you.
You said you wouldn't tell her.
I want the sample of your handbag, Colin.
I'm not telling you.
I'm saying nothing, I know nothing.
No, me neither.
Hear it, Andy. But like I said, use that panda.
Yeah.
Hidden on it. Hidden.
Yeah, there's
As if he ever gets it.
No, there's an app called Panda. Like,
yeah.
Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it, but I never thought of it when I had the USB in my possession.
No. Well, we don't know where it is now.
No, it could be anywhere.
That's a mystery on its own.
Yeah. It's just one big mystery that's getting posted all over the universe. I don't know what's happening. I need Christmas off. Can I have Christmas off?
There'll be some werewolf going, why is this not? But he's now on it. That bloody Colin Keel it. Telling me to use Panda, it don't work.
Oh dear, the mystery deepens.
I know. Oh, massive
Anyway, guys,
thank you. Yeah,
it's 3
massive
minutes.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you all for coming on.
Been great, really.
Thanks for the invite.
No, you're welcome.
Tonight, it's
proper Christmas special.
Yeah, we did it different and hoped it was going to work, and I think it has.
Yeah, it has been good.
Yeah, so really enjoyed it. But now the sad news. That's it now till January.
No, dear.
Deborah, yes, nothing. Yeah, our next one is going to be on the 4th of January. It's going to be the decode.
It is.
Following 2 days later with the one and only Paul Sinclair.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so he's going to be on. If you want to see everyone who's going to be coming on between then and the middle of March, everyone is on the website.
Yeah.
All the live links are on there. So if you want to, you want to watch in particular, you can set a reminder and what have you. But then from the 18th of February, I think it is, we are then going to be doing it every 2 weeks. It's not going to be weekly anymore because we've got plans on doing something else different. And for us to do a stream every week, it's just not going to work. There's just not enough hours, not enough time. So I'm sure, without looking at a calendar, I'm sure it's the 18th.
I think it is the 18th.
Yeah, Friday the 18th. That's the last one of the weekly. It's so we've got one on the 18th. Then I think the next one's the 3rd of March.
Yeah.
And then it's from then every 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. It just gives us time to do the other stuff that we want that we've got in the pipeline, and it's going to be good, if not better. It's just we're not. For what we want to do, we're not going to get a chance to do it if we don't do it this way. So,
happy Christmas to everyone watching, and Happy New Year to you all.
Christmas.
Yes. A massive thank you again to Mick, Tim, Vanessa, and Colin. Really do appreciate you all coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely amazing.
Thanks for inviting me. Brilliant.
No,
you're welcome.
Thank you for accepting.
You've enjoyed tonight.
Thanks.
Cheers. I really do appreciate it. So what I'm going to do now... Before
everybody goes... Oh, no, I've got my little video to put on. You can't. You cannot go without seeing my little video. Right, hang on.
It's censored.
One sec. Even I've not seen this.
You're lucky, Andy. You've been lucky.
Oh, I don't know. I think you're in it, Colin. I think you're the main star.
It's not fun. No, it stopped. I don't know what went on there. I had trouble with this last time, if you remember.
As well, Deb.
Have you broke the internet?
What have you done with
I probably broke it. No, it's not working. Anyway, happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
No, wait. Have you put it on the link, or is he sharing it?
It won't load up, so I was doing it as a screen share.
Right. Well, send it to me, and I'll put it on YouTube.
Yeah, right, yeah. I'm sure people want to see swearing, but never mind. Yeah, I will do, yeah.
It's only one off. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play the outro video in a minute. Right, sorry, I just thought I'd moved everything round. I've not.
Okay.
I was going to say, yeah. So, thank you, everyone. Happy Christmas.
Yes, thank
Happy
you.
New
Happy
Year.
Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
We're still going to be on Facebook, but
Yeah.
it's just not going to be any streaming now till January. That's all.
Yeah.
Anyone have anything to say?
Happy Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
It's Happy Christmas.
Right, so no
Good
one go
drink.
anywhere.
Can I open the chocolates now?
I'm going to play the video, and then I'd like to have a quick chat with everyone. So that's all right.
Yep.
That'll send us to sleep.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Right. So, thank you, everyone.
Good night.